afternoon, gamers. Jaraoh back. More VOD reviews. You know what it is. We got our boy Terasadon back in the chamber. This is from Thursday Night Fight. He's playing Ahri. His opponent's playing Volibear. There's a couple cool things going on here. So, Ahri, very cool deck. This deck has kind of adjusted a bit lately. So most people are not playing the green Ahri as its champion unit anymore. Most of them have kind of concluded that it's a little understated, and relying on a bunch of time warps in your deck actually ends up being pretty problematic, and the deck just isn't as clean and doesn't function as smoothly as you would like. Blue Ahri tends to be quite a bit better as a standalone threat. It also, if you are playing Blue Seal, interacts with that pretty favorably. But it's just more of an early game unit tempo deck now. Lots of two drops, good amount of mid game threats like Sprite Mother, lots of retreats, lots of combat tricks from green, such as your On Guard and your Discipline. And I think that's a pretty neat variation of the deck to lean into. But also, we have Volibear. And Volibear is an interesting legend because it has been creeping up in popularity, I believe. I think most people have concluded that one of the important things that you want to be doing, if you're red specifically, is make sure that your deck can utilize Falling Star, right? So a deck like Kaisa does that because of her legend ability. It mitigates, a large percentage of the cost. And you have other damage dealing spells already, so something like Void Gate is excellent synergy. Jinx kind of gets away with it if she wants to play it because they are usually pretty heavy on seals, right? Because they're already trying to get Hellbent, so that's a benefit. Volibear does it by using his legend ability as well, but in a different way. So you're not as punished by the sacrificing of resources. Orange, of course, also leads you into other different strengths, right? You get some ramp via Catalyst if you decide you want to do that. You also get access to Aurora if you want to go that route. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And it is a very interesting archetype, I think, to look at going forward. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into some of these games. Our boy Tera is, of course, on the Ahri. The opponent, Demon Boy, on Volibear. Mulliganing the Stupefy makes sense. It's a pretty low impact card against the big units of Volibear. If you had a 2-drop unit to play, you might keep it just to proc your Dreaming Tree and draw 2 cards. But we're kind of digging. I'm actually surprised we didn't mulligan a second card to try and find a 2-drop. So it looks like we are going first as the Ahri player. Oh! Why mulligan an extra card when it's there? Very nice first draw by Tera. Very nice first draw by Tera. Very important to keep us on the board early. I guess alternatively, we could have just played Ahri, but I don't think we would have wanted to play Ahri on turn 1. Opponent has nothing on his first turn. We draw Time Warp, which most of these lists, like I was saying, they are not on 3 Time Warp anymore. Most of them are playing 1. Some of them are still playing 2. Alright. Deal 3, draw a card. I suspect we're going to play one of our cards here. I would be leaning towards... I was going to say leaning towards Retreat. But I think Discipline makes a lot of sense here as well. Either way, we draw 2 cards, which is insane. Yeah, Discipline is better, I think. I think if you can use the Retreat for a higher impact unit, that's generally going to be better. Makes combat a little bit more awkward if they potentially just play a gigantic big boy. But I think for right now, we're fine. I think our Poro should be ready, right? Oh, no, I guess we just did it last turn, right? Oh, I see. They played the removal spell on our turn. That's why our resources are tapped. I see. So we're only at 1 victory point. MF. MF, we'll put a resource in. I think we're just chilling. I don't think there's much reason to do anything here. Another discipline, very good draw. Do we need to sit on any of our spells here? We're at 2 victory points. I might just send the Sentry in to Obelisk, go up to 3, and retreat my Poro and play Feyfolk. I don't think we need to sit on resources for anything. Like, I don't think we need to sit on retreat if all of our units are in base, all of our important units, rather. And I don't think we want to play Sprite Mother without being able to get any advantage out of the temporary token. And I also think we don't really want to commit to... Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know. This mean if we're doing this line of play, does that mean, yeah, we're leaving the Poro in? If we're leaving the Poro in, I think this does make sense. Very cool. Very cool line. So the plan is we're actually planning to fight then. We're going to try and discipline our Poro, presumably, and make them use a spell. Which I do not think is unreasonable by any stretch. I would just be a little scared because I don't think we want to spend our whole next turn playing Feyfolk if we don't have to. It's a really interesting decision. Yeah. I would have been hesitant to make that play, but we just get super far ahead with the second discipline. The second discipline, drawing us 2 cards and keeping our Poro alive. Now the MF cannot even go to that battlefield, so they just have to conquer Obelisk and kill our temporary token. Very, very good for us. Very, very good. We drew Watcher. Watcher's a great draw. Don't think we have to do anything with it this turn. We're at 3 victory points, right? Or is it 4 now? I think we're at 4. Right? We held, conquered. Yeah, I think we're at 4 now. He's got it covered up on his camera screen. I would be reasonably interested in just adding. So now we're playing the Feyfolk. Sure. I think sitting on Defy is very important, so I don't dislike that at all. The MF has ganking, so I would be a little scared keeping the Poro on Dreaming Tree, but I guess maybe the logic is we're just going to retreat it. There is the Aurora. Well, that is what our opponent needed to potentially stabilize. I think this Time Warp setup is very good for us, though. So they did not want to trade MF for Poro, right? Because I think that MF does have ganking, yeah. So it's a 4 on our 3. And we're just retreating it, yep. I think that's totally fine. Yep, get our resource, draw a card. I think there is no issue with that. And then we get to see what this Aurora does. What you gonna hit? What you gonna hit? Nope. Oh, that looks like a hit. Durgan. Don't actually recognize that one. Let me hit our trademark pause. That one does not ring a bell to ya boy. Blazing Scorcher. Interesting. So it's just a very mid-level threat. Very interesting. And I guess the logic there is it's like not the worst thing to hit off of the Aurora. You still get to make a resource with your volley ability. I'll buy that. It's definitely an unlucky hit, but I'll buy that that's still totally fine for deck building. Now, presumably we're at 4 points, right? So we're not winning the game with this Time Warp, but our opponent's only got 2 resources up, so I don't really see a world where we do anything other than jam Watcher, right? I mean, we jam Watcher, go to 6 victory points, and then just sit on Retreat plus Defy. That looks really good to me. Alternatively, if we wanted to play around a bunch of Death Bloom Predators, we could probably... it's kind of tough. I think going ahead and conquering Obelisk makes a lot of sense. I think this puts us to 5 victory points. And yeah, we're just playing Watcher, right? Oh, we're Time Warping. Time Warping here is really interesting. Unless... So, I think that only puts us at 6. But if that puts us at 7, then this is obviously a win. I mean, we must be at 6, right? Because if this put us to 7, then it would be too obvious. You would just jam Watcher with Defy backup and win the game. I think this play is still good. I think this play is still totally fine. I don't think there's a lot of counterplay here, right? You just have to decide how much you want to put in. I might put everything. I mean, this puts us at 7, no? I think I might just put everything in Dreaming Tree. That way, we can play around double Colossus, no? I think if we put everything in Dreaming Tree, we guarantee the hold, right? I think so. What would it take for them to... Oh, we're retreating. I don't think I like retreating there. I really wish I knew what our victory point total was. Because I think if we're at 7, we should not retreat there. I think. If we're at 6, then retreating is totally fine. Because we have to double conquer regardless. And then we're just going to play the retreat on our Watcher and presumably double conquer next turn that way. So the victory point totals being covered up is making this a little awkward. But we're either at 6 or 7. Opponent in the tank. Volley does not look like it's good enough. I really think it's just like Death Bloom Predator or bust, kind of. I almost wonder if there's a world where after we conquered... You know what I kind of think we should have done? Could we have conquered what we did with the Watcher and then pull back the Sentry and then just, in our turn at action speed, used our retreat on our Watcher? How good would that have been? Because then we still have Watcher next turn. Presumably they don't have any removal that can interact with any of our units on our base. And then that way we play around Deathbloom Predator because they can't actually put anything in a battlefield. This way here, if they have Predator, they can actually put it on top of Dreaming Tree, which if we have to double conquer next turn is a little annoying. I wonder if I have that sequencing right. That would be a pretty cute little play. Oh, well, and then this would have been a counter to that play, realistically, right? Because Predator doesn't matter here. What just happened? What just happened to our opponent's cards? I guess. Oh. Okay. There was some kind of bug or lag, I guess, with the client. We are at 7 victory points. Really interesting. Really interesting. I would really want to defy this. I think, right? I mean, like, if you... What are you more afraid of than them just getting a big unit ready, right? I think this makes a lot of sense to me. As usual, Terra finds the line that makes sense. I don't know what you're afraid of other than that. That seems more fearful than any kind of like Void Seeker or any other red spell that you would want to counter, I'm pretty sure. It's a little awkward now that we don't have this retreat up, so if we get Predator, that's going to be sad times. Yep, there's Predator. Yep. Definitely wondering if my retreat line would have worked there. I mean, it's very weird, right? It's very weird to want to retreat your Watcher from a battlefield during your turn, but it would have prevented that. I guess the reason that this works is because of our Ahri ability, right? It's not actually a conquer, it's just a trade. So I think that makes sense. And it looks like we are reloading. And yep, that was all he could do, so we get the double conquer. We get to just start our turn and double conquer. Very nice. So on to game 2. Skip over this a little bit. Perfect. All right. Actually get to see some sideboarding. Looks like we're cutting a Fabloom, which I think makes sense. Feyfolk. We definitely want Adaptatron in our deck, right? Adaptatron's so good against the Aurora decks. Yep. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. All right, now we have War Camp versus Aspirant's Climb. Okay. War Camp, not usually something you see in the non-yellow decks, but I like it with this iteration because we're so low to the ground. Yep, that mulligan makes sense. Gonna mulligan the Watcher too. Yeah, I think this makes sense. He's going to keep one, maybe. I maybe would have erred on the side of mulliganing both, but I understand only mulliganing one, because you probably want access to it at some point in the game, and if you put 2 on the bottom, you may never find the 3rd. Getting to lead on Student. Very nice. Noticeably, I wonder if there's any world where leading on Poro is better. Probably not. Student's just so powerful. The logic would be it's always a 3 while defending, and we probably don't need a lot of help while attacking, at least in the early stages of the game. Looks like it's not going to matter, because I think we just play the Poro now, right? I can't imagine we want to play Ahri. I feel like Poro sit on Discipline is way better, right? Yeah. Maybe if our hand was set up a little differently, the Ahri would make sense, but I think with Watcher plus Time Warp in our hand, we want to make sure that we keep our resources high in count at the moment. Notably, we could have put our Poro in Trifarian as well, and that would have... Oh, wait, I think our opponent's getting blown out here. My friend, that does not work the way that you want it to. Oh, no. Yeah, buddy, that is... Yeah. That was not a good exchange for the opponent. Oh, baby. Well, you do what you got to do. I mean, probably have to make that play if you don't have anything else, but you are not happy about it. All right, this is very, very good position for Tera. These Defies looking a little mopey at the moment, but surely we're going to get some value out of them. I mean, Red-Orange has things that we're very interested in countering. And this is going to be one of them. I suspect we're going to Defy this. Yep. I don't think we care that much about protecting our Poro, but I do think that the fact that they were going to draw a card off of it anyways makes it a really good exchange for our Defy. And then we're just going to Defy the other one, right? There's no reason not to. Absolutely. Just insane tempo for us. Getting to counter, 3 energy, 1 resource cards for 1 energy, 1 resource. Just very good tempo. So presumably we hold. I think this puts us up to 3. And now 4. And we just pass. We could stupefy something now and maybe draw another unit. I don't think that would be unreasonable. But I just wouldn't do it. I don't think. I'm usually pretty greedy with my stupefies and stuff. I'd like to think that I can get some value out of them at some points. So we're just stupefying in response to that ability. Sure. That's totally fine. Oh, retreat's a great draw. So I'm pretty sure we go up to 6, right? Yep. We are at 6 victory points. Very nice. My inclination is we should just double retreat. Yeah, I like double retreat a lot. It's like a little awkward. If it wasn't an Aspirant's Climb map, we would be very confident that we're winning the game next turn. The fact that we have to get to 9 means it's not quite as sure of a thing, but I still think this line is very, very good. Opponent is up to 9, which means Aurora is on the table, but Aurora not even really that good in the face of our Adaptatron. Predator not good because we retreated. I really like the way Tera's played this game. I think all of his decisions have been pretty high level and made a lot of sense. Sequencing looked good. Yep, I don't think we want to do anything here. Give them their first victory point. And then kind of just see what's up. 9 resources. I'm kind of trying to think what would even be a good play for them, right? Because it's like Predator's not good. Aurora's not good. I mean, that's half of their big threats right there, right? What do we got here? Looks like, is this MF? Feels like it might be MF. Yep. Get a resource that way, so we're back up to 9. Yeah. But it's like we probably don't have a third Void Seeker. I don't think the other red removal spell is that good. What is it? This is... Oh, we're just accelerating after the fact. I see. Interesting timing. I don't really think it works that way. Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense. 2 victory points. And then thinking about pulling back. Yeah, they're pulling back. Sure. This is still going to work out very well for us. I almost wonder if we should have, on the MF to War Camp Conquer, we should have retreated something, because then we could have time warped. Like, if we retreat our Poro, we could have time warped. And then we could have retreated. And then we could have time warped. 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 And then I guess we don't actually want to time warp this turn, realistically. We probably want to sit on the Adaptatron as well. So we just go up to 7 here. Yeah, I mean, can we just play Watcher? Regular? I feel like we can just play Watcher naked. I feel like there's not really a downside to it. This is an interesting attack. I guess you don't really have to play around Aurora, right? Because you're realistically just going to win the game the turn after they play Aurora anyways. So I don't think you have to sit back on this Adaptatron. But my gut instinct would still be to watch her beforehand, I think. I agree that you don't really have to accelerate the Watcher. I don't think there's a lot of counterplay to that. But yeah, it's very tough. I think my line, I think I would lean towards not accelerating the Watcher and just attacking Ahri into MF. I mean, that makes it would make our Ahri a 3 versus an MF 1, a 4 versus a 1. And then we get to sit on the Adaptatron anyways. If we weren't worried about any kind of trick, we could send the Adaptatron in just because the Ahri fights a little bit better next turn. Yeah, I like this. I think this play is better. It keeps the Adaptatron in our base on the off chance something does go wrong and our opponent plays Aurora plus we can't double conquer. This way here, if we for some reason can only single conquer, we still get the Adaptatron trigger. I think this makes a lot of sense. I think this is the right way to play this. And then they're sky splitting us. I think we don't care, right? I think I would not retreat this. Yeah, I think I would not retreat this. I think I would just let it happen and then send Adaptatron into the MF now. Yep. I think this play makes a lot of sense. No gear to destroy, so we don't get the buff, but who cares? Like, I understand the hesitance for sure, because you kind of want to have an answer to Aurora, but, like, what even bad happens, right? You go up to 8 victory points. What does Aurora even do? Like, what would Aurora have to hit for a Watcher to not win the game next turn? It's very interesting. Oh, I don't think we get the buff, do we? I thought you had to actually kill a gear to get the buff. Maybe I misunderstand that rules interaction. Either way, my point is the same. I think we've got this basically locked up. Because, like, Aurora into Predator isn't enough. Aurora into Volley is not... Like, yeah, no, I think we've got all of our bases covered. I think Tera has taken a clean 2-0 here. Opponent is tanking. I'm interested to see what they can try to stitch together, assuming we had nothing, but we do not have nothing. We have everything. Yep. Oh. I thought they might be chatting about the game being over, potentially. It's always a little bit of potential confusion when you have the comms muted up. Oh, no, he's still playing cards. Another Sky Splitter. Yeah, Sky Splitter makes sense. I do not think that I would retreat this. I mean, I guess why not, right? What's the counterplay? What is the angle in which we lose? I guess the problem is then they're gonna conquer Aspirant's Climb. I think it still doesn't matter. Yeah, because you're just never playing it next turn. I think not retreating is fine. And then we've got, what is this? Stormbringer at a battlefield. That doesn't feel like it accomplishes much. Yeah, and then we just Watcher for the win. Watcher for the dub, baby! He moves into Climb, or into War Camp, rather. And that's going to do it, fam. That is going to do it. He's up to 3, and then we double conquer and get the dub skis. Alternatively, we could have just conquered Climb, gone to 9, draw a card, and time warped. Technically, I mean, it doesn't matter because the game's over. But technically, if we needed to score more points, that would have been the better play, because then we could get the holding points and then Watcher for an extra 2 points that way. Very nice, very nice. So we got to showcase the lower to the ground Ahri shell. We did not really get to showcase the volley deck that much. They never played a Falling Star, which is basically one of the best cards against these low to the ground unit decks, because you just get so much equity, so much board presence by being able to take 2 things off for just 1 card. Just ends up being crazy valuable. And then because of the volley ability, you end up replenishing your resources very quickly to get you back into your big threats. But yeah, I think Tera played that game great. I think all of his decisions made sense. You kind of got to highlight when it was correct to sequence your combat damage tricks versus your retreats. And I think it was excellent. We did not really get to see a lot of the Time Warp stuff. We didn't get to see a lot of the Find Your Center stuff. And yeah, this iteration of Ahri, like I said, this is anti-spice, right? There's really no excitement with this iteration of Ahri. This iteration of Ahri is kind of just your generic, like, magic equivalent, like, green pump spell, little, like, green weenie deck, right? And it's cool that the game's got a place for that, because this draw looked excellent. Play looked excellent. Matchup looked better than I assume it is. My gut instinct is a couple Falling Stars would have changed the matchup quite a bit. But sometimes your opponent doesn't draw their best cards, right? And you've got to make sure that you capitalize. So we take it. Excellently played by Tera, as always. And if you enjoyed the ride, had a good time with the show, go ahead and throw me out a like, comment, and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. And yeah, fam, that's going to do it for us until next time. Peace!